Hey guys, welcome to Gaslands TV. Today we're going to be doing some comic book cars or some manga cars, and for that I'm going to be using these two here. I chose these because we're going to try to do them without priming them. They also have screws, so they're easy to open, and they have some nice curves on them. I like cars with curves so that I can actually show you where to put the highlights and stuff like that for the manga look. So I'm just going to unscrew them here quickly, and what you want to do is actually start with the windows of the car. So once you have everything separated out, put the bodies aside, and we're going to start with the windows. Pretty straightforward, to be honest. All you got to do with the windows is basically paint them black. So for this video I'm going to kind of let things run instead of fast forwarding too much or cutting to another thing. So we're going to go with black and just go on the windows. In case you are doing this while you're following the video, or if you play my videos in the background while you're modeling or whatever, you could try to keep up and follow, or just pause the video if I'm going too fast. But what we're going to do first is basically make the windows black. Then we're going to take a lighter color of whatever color the car is. So if your car is blue, we're gonna go with a light blue. If it's green, try to find like a lighter green. Basically the lighter color of the color of your car. And we're gonna start here on the little bump here on the fenders on top of the light. So basically wherever there's kind of like a bump, or just imagine that there's a flashlight on top of the car shining down on the car, and where there would be like light, just make some lines. So for this car here, on top of the wheels, kind of looks like it would shine, it would catch some light. And on top of the door is also a good spot, under the back window as well, and like under the mirror kind of thing. Just a line here is pretty it's pretty standard. And what you can do also is just have a Google image of a car, a comic book car, on the side there on your phone or something that you can look at and try to mimic. But for this I'm just gonna freehand and try to figure out on my own where light would shine. So I'm probably thinking on the edges here. And it's very important as well to not have any like brush strokes showing, or like transparencies or whatever. You want the color to actually be opaque. So we're gonna probably do like a second coat on these to make sure that it's uniform and that it's one color and that it's nice and, you know, it looks like it's been painted with a marker or something instead of a brush. So just gonna do some in the front here on the bumper. And again, if this is your first time like me, I'm gonna let the video run so that you could follow along. At the top here on the roof, I'm just gonna do some strokes of that color here. So this is the opposite. On the top of the car I'm not doing any lines like I would on the side. I'm actually doing some strokes. And for the front hood, I'm gonna go ahead and do a diagonal. So go from the top of the hood down to the other side of the front bumper. And you don't want it to be a super straight diagonal. Make the diagonal like kind of jagged with brush strokes. It doesn't have to be super perfect. It shouldn't actually be super perfect. Just basically some paint strokes that go diagonally across the hood, like so. And I mean, if the car was primed it'd be much easier, but I decided to go this way in case you know, you don't have a primer or whatever and you just want to practice on your first car. So this is my practice. This is the first time I'm doing these comic book cars, so I didn't want to prime them. I just wanted to see if it would come out okay, if it would look good, if the technique is fine. and we'll see at the end. So I'm just gonna do some lines again on top of the wheels, on the fenders, and on top of the light there, maybe up here, and on top of the door. Kind of a little bit what you did on the other side of the car. And obviously the first coat is not gonna be perfect, especially if your car is not primed. The paint is kind of not sticking very well, but it's okay. And I think I'm gonna do the other side of the roof as well. Another few little lines, but instead of starting in the back, I'm gonna start in the front, and we're gonna do some lines there, and maybe a few lines here. So on the side of the car, you're making straight lines, and on the top of the car, you're kind of making like brush strokes. So now that this is dry, I'm gonna go ahead and do another coat, because I really want this to be uniform, one color. I don't like to see the brush strokes on these lines, or the little spots that are transparent, so I really want the colors to pop. I mean, these are supposed to be highlights, so they should be bright and full and opaque. So I'm going to put some up here as well, like so. And I'm going to redo some paint over here as well. That's looking okay for now. And I'm going to redo the diagonal over here. Again, it doesn't have to be a perfect diagonal. The edges can be brush strokes. That's fine. And if you have a wing on your car, you could go ahead and put a line there on the top of the wing. That's probably where some light would shine. So that's looking okay for now. And for the red one, I don't actually have a light red, so I'm gonna go with orange. We'll see how that turns out. And this is plastic, it's not metal, so it might stick a little bit better. So I'm gonna just go ahead and do that diagonal again. This is how I do mine. It's just basically a diagonal from the top down to the front on the other side. And again, obviously the paint is not super sticky on this, so we're gonna have to do a few coats, but something like that looks like it's okay. And then on the fender, we'll do another line. Basically where your car is bulging, like at the top of the bulge. So at the top of your door, it's probably bulging a little bit, so there's gonna be some light there. Could maybe attach it to the paint that's on the hood. In the back here, there's obviously huge bumps, so that's gonna be like bright and shiny. A good way of thinking of it is like pretend the car is in a garage with like a giant neon light at the top, and you know, like you would see the reflection of that neon light on the car. Where would the reflection be? So I'd assume it'd be on the top of this thing as well here, this curve. Put a little bit more here, see how that's gonna look. Again, these are test cars for me. I've never done this before, so I like testing different things. Put a line over here. Maybe there's a lot more light on this side of the car, so you could do thicker lines. Something like that. It's really up to you how you want to highlight your car, how you want it to look. I'm going to do the roof here again like I did on the other one, and maybe back here some kind of like light that's reflecting on this curve here. It's tricky, guys, especially if it's your first time trying to do this. Some people make it look easy, but Just go around your car, look at where you see some hoods, some hood bumps maybe. Right here looks like there's, you know, light would shine right here. Less is more, guys, also, so you don't have to go super crazy on where you're putting this. Gonna go over my diagonal again and basically fill the areas that don't have enough paint. Again, you want this to be opaque, you want it to look uniform, one color. Gonna do this little hood thing here. Just gonna go over again where the paint is drying. We're already dry, and while that's done, we're gonna work on these windows. So we're gonna use some white on the window, and what you want to do with the white is just like these little streaks on the edges. I'm gonna show you in a moment. I'm gonna put some white on my brush, make a line here at the edge of the window, left or right edge, put quite a bit of paint there, then dry your brush on a napkin and then just flick the white downwards, and that's kind of giving it like a reflection on the window, reflective manga InitalD style look on your window. And if you want, you can even put it on the other side. You don't have to, you could leave it one side. It's basically your preference. I'm gonna try both sides here, and I'm gonna want to go into the middle. You don't want to go too far into the middle. I actually went too far, I find, and we're gonna have to fix that with some black. But if you do it right the first time, you won't need to fix it. But it's always good to come back with black and make it look good. And I'll show you how to do that after. But right now we're just gonna flick the white. And again, I'm not fast forwarding or cutting away to the next shot, because just in case you really want to see everything, how it's done, and you know, maybe you're following along and you're also doing your first comic car, manga car, and as you're working, you want to just look at the screen once in a while to see how it's going, and you want to follow along. So I won't be cutting too much. For the side windows, you want to do this little diagonal from a corner. So just put quite a bit of white on the corner here, and then just like have a few lines and streaks coming out here. I'm working really fast here, guys, because I try to get these videos done within one battery, because I hate just stopping and charging and waiting, and gotta find a way to plug my camera or something. But if you do have time, if you do have patience, you could be more precise with these windows if you want. But I think they're gonna come out good like this. Just put some white and flick it down. I'm gonna try something else with the other windows, but for this one we're gonna go with the side to side here. Again, I went too far into the middle of the window, so try not to do that. You know, maybe you could leave one side not done on the back window. But this is gonna also need a second coat, and with some black you could come back and fix it if you did go too far into the middle. Just add a few lines like this of black and bring it back to the edge, bring the white back, so it's not too much in the middle. And I think I'm going to do the same in the back window here, just fix it up a little bit with the black. You can even do the side windows if you want to fix that up a little bit. But for the next window, we're going to try the corners. Let's go with the corners, and we're going to put some white paint on the corners, and with the excess paint just flick it down with your brush, kind of do like a nice little white explosion on your window looking thing. And I'm going to do it the same thing for the side windows. Again, white paint on the edge and just flick very lightly the paint. This is very like InitalD style of painting the car. If you go on Google and look for a different style, a different comic book style, you could go ahead and follow that. But here, as you can see, it didn't quite dry properly. There's still that little transparency there that you can see through the paint. So I'm going to put a third little coat here. I really don't want to see through this paint. It has to be completely uniform to actually get the effect that you want. And that looks a bit better. Alright, now with a toothpick, if you want, you can make the thin white lines here. You don't have to use a toothpick. If you have a really small brush, you could also use that. But if you want to be a bit more precise, you could do toothpick with some white paint on it. And we're gonna go ahead and really highlight the bumps this time, the basically the bulges on your car, wherever you see like a bulge on the fender kind of thing, on top of the door here, kind of rounded. Definitely on a Porsche, on top of the lights, because that's a huge bump. So there's obviously going to be some white there. We're going to put some on the fenders here, and it's really hard to paint with toothpicks. So if you don't want, you could use a brush. I'll probably switch to a brush soon. But for now, I just wanted to show you that with a toothpick, you could still make some pretty cool white lines. Nice and thin, straight, easy. You're just going to need to put quite a bit of paint on the toothpick, and also rotate the toothpick as you're painting. And here I switch to the brush, and I'm going to show you that you can still do lines with the brush as well. Again, here you want uniform color. You don't want to see any paint strokes or anything like that. And maybe I'm gonna put some white lines in the front of this bumper here where there is no blue paint or anything. I'm gonna do the same thing we did with the blue, but with the white in some different areas. So I'm gonna put some white paint and flick upwards, and I'm gonna show you in a bit. So something like that. It's gonna look better once it has a second and third coat, but for now I just want to make sure I know where I'm putting the white. Obviously here, huge bulge, which means there's going to be white on top of the fender here. On top of the door is a pretty good spot. The back fender. And it looks like it's, you know, coming along as you're adding this white here. I really hope you guys are enjoying this video and learning something, and hopefully get to see your comic book or manga art inspired builds on the Gaslands TV Facebook page. Come and show us if you did do some of these. The back wing, I'm gonna put just a little bit on each side and leave like a little spot in the middle where it's not shining, and maybe in the back here a little line. We're basically adding some white to our previous paint without covering it up completely, but those look like they're pretty cool highlights. Again, you could take your time with this. I'm kind of rushing a little bit. And put some on top over here, again like what we did with the windows, but at the top. And I'm going to just take that paint and move it up a little bit. So basically this is giving it speed. It's making it look like it's driving. It's, you know, it's moving when it's not, kind of look. And I shouldn't have painted the blue on this racing line, so I'm just gonna repaint the racing line. So if you do have some details on your car, you might want to not paint on it. Okay, so while that's drying, I'm gonna come back here and fix these windows up a little bit. Again, come back with some white, do a second coat, because you really want the white to show and be opaque and be uniform. Also, I'm going to take this time to tell you guys that I'm doing all this work. I'm hopefully teaching people how to do things, but I'm also trying to get monetized on YouTube, so I basically have everything I need to get monetized except hours. So if you want to help out, you could have like a playlist playing in the background or something of some of my builds and stuff, and basically all YouTube wants to know is that people are watching. So I just need some hours of views. Likes and comments do help, subscriptions help, but I already have what I need of that to be monetized. I just need those hours. So yeah, I mean, if you want, you can choose one of my playlists and just play it and have some footage playing in the background or whatever while you're working. That would be a huge help for me, and I'd really appreciate it. Here I just did a black line in the middle of the window, and I'm just moving the black back and forth to fix up a little bit because I went too far with the white here. Something like that looks pretty good. And I'm just gonna maybe fix a bit the top over here, the front windshield. So yeah, with some black you could go back and fix little mistakes that you did. See, this window's not looking very good, so we're gonna add some white here and flick the white up. That looks pretty cool. Put a few lines over here, add some white and spread it. It's tricky, it's really tricky to get this part perfect, but you could put white and black as much as you like until you have it exactly the way you want it. I mean, I do like that these videos don't have any ads in the middle of them, which is really cool because I don't want to put ads. But I know as a YouTuber you're allowed to choose when to play the ads, so you could probably play them at the beginning of the video and in the video, but I won't. I'll just have it run at the beginning of the video and then not get any interruptions while I'm doing this, because I hate seeing ads that are in the middle of a video. So if I do get monetized, hopefully when I do, I won't put any ads during these videos. They're just going to be at the beginning. So again, here I'm just adding some white at the top of where I put the lighter color. Just some lines. And again on the roof here, so on the roof it's not actual lines here, it's the actual flicks of the white. And in the front here, maybe on the front bumper, a few white lines like that, showing some speed, I guess, you know, like it's moving fast through the wind. I'm gonna put some on top over here as well, and maybe another on the roof, another few lines there of white. Oh, that's coming along. You can even like flick it at the front, like on the front bumper, make it look like it's really going fast here. Again, that's up to you if you want to add these. You don't have to. I'm just testing it on this car to see what it's going to look like. I won't be doing it on the Porsche. Sorry. I'm going to put some maybe in the back here. You can even probably use a bigger brush in the back of the tire here to just make some lines. I don't know what that's going to look like. Maybe I'll just do a few little lines with a smaller brush. Again, I'm gonna put some extra coats here and some flicks here. It's not very manga-ish. I don't feel like these streaks are that cool. Maybe if you want to do some brown or some rust instead of the white there, but it was something to test out, and it looks like it's coming along pretty cool. It's getting there. I'm gonna put a line here on the hood because there is a bump there, so wherever there's a bump I'm gonna add some white. And with a toothpick we're gonna do the lights yellow, because in mangas and comic books the lights are most of the time yellow. So I'll go ahead and do these yellow. I find like with a toothpick it's very easy to get these lights in. But if you're comfortable with a brush, just use a brush. Just fill that up in yellow. And for the Porsche, I'm gonna put some yellow on the toothpick again and go paint the headlights. I think it's dry. Again, you want to wait for stuff to get dry, but I don't have the patience, so I'm just gonna go ahead and paint here. Make this yellow. Also do the back lights red if you want, and go really into detail, but right now I'm just gonna do the front lights. Alright, and this is very optional. If you want, you could put some white on your tires and kind of do the same thing you did on the window. Put some white and then just like flick it up. I've seen some animes that have this on their tires, so as the tire is spinning it has these white, kind of these white streaks showing that it's spinning, kind of thing. Maybe not make them as big as I'm doing them. They're supposed to be smaller. Again, you learn as you're doing this. So as I was doing them I realized I was making them too big, so started doing them a bit smaller. and it gives it kind of that like motion look, you know, like tires spinning or something. And now I am going to use some black and a toothpick to do some comic book lines. This part is really hard. I do have a trick for this later on. I'll show you on the Porsche. I kind of realized it after, but as I was doing this car, realized, man, this part is the hard part. This is where, like, where do I put these black lines? Are they just random? Should they go to a specific spot? Everywhere I looked on the pictures of mangas and stuff, these black lines, or comic books, the black lines are kind of random. They look random, so I'm just gonna do a few with the toothpick here on the car. Can't really tell you where to put them like I did like with the other colors. Here you're not really following like the bulge of a car, you're not following anything, you're just putting black lines. And for this I think less is more as well, so don't put too many. I kind of went a little bit too far on this car, but here on the side of the, like, the door meets the body, kind of maybe put some lines. I wish there's an interview maybe online where they ask, you know, someone that draws these things, why do you put these black lines all over your car when you're drawing cars, and how do you choose where to put these black lines? I'd love to know that. But yeah, I'm just gonna probably put some on the edges here, maybe one or two on the roof here. I mean, maybe these lines are kind of optional. They looked pretty cool without the black lines, but everywhere I look, there's black lines on comic book cars, so I'm just gonna add them. Put some in the front as well. Again, the top of the car, I'm kind of flicking the black on the edges and then putting some lines. Maybe a little bit more in the front. I'm gonna put a little bit on the headlights as well. Maybe a few lines here like this. Completely random. No idea where I should be putting these black lines, so I didn't really focus too much on the back of these cars. I should have, but that looks alright. It's kind of getting there. And my wife just pointed out to me that maybe you should outline the car, outline like an actual coloring book. So let's do that. Let's put some black all around the car, everywhere that there's a groove, kind of like the door, the hoods, the window, around the windows. So we're just gonna outline everything black. I think that's gonna make a huge difference, and I think she was right. Try not to cover the white. If you put some white on your fenders, that actually is looking better. So we're gonna go ahead and outline the entire car. But I have a tip for the Porsche, for the black lines, that might help you. So don't close the video just yet. And again, I'm letting this run. I'm not fast forwarding too much, because just in case you're doing it alongside with me. Oops. I do have the thing that holds the model in place while you're painting it. I just was too lazy to go get it, so I'm kind of holding the car from the roof here as I'm painting it. And once you outline everything, it kind of looks like this, which is makes a huge difference. So yeah, outline your car when you're doing the black lines. It's gonna help. And let's go ahead with the Porsche now. Porsche. Gonna outline first the bottom of the car. Again, I'm gonna outline before I do the black lines. I think it's gonna help me visually. And if you go over the white, you can come back and add some white on the reflections wherever you went over. So once it's outlined, it looks pretty good. But now we have to add those random black lines. I tried to do a few on the hood and the front there, but do a straight line and a small line. That's my tip for you guys. One long line and right next to it a short line. And I've seen these on other cars, so I'm just copying what I'm seeing on pictures. And that's what you really got to do. Just look at a picture, a comic book picture, and imitate it. And I've seen a lot of these long lines like this, and then right next to it a short line. So we're gonna do that even on the side here. Long line, short line. Long, short. Should have done the opposite, maybe the long one at the bottom and the short one on top. You might make mistakes, but that's okay. Everybody makes mistakes. Manga drawers make mistakes. Comic book artists make mistakes. Artists always make mistakes. They're always little happy accidents, so it's okay. Maybe I'm gonna put maybe a line here. I don't know, be creative with your black lines. There's no like right way of doing it, but I find that one long line and a small line next to it helps. It's a pretty good tip, and it's gonna make things a lot easier. And it's already looked like it's coming along nicely. And now the moment of truth, guys. Putting it up all together with the window and everything to see how it comes out and how it looks. This is the exciting part for me and for you when you're going to be making your car. Closing it up and then turning it over to see those tires. They're kind of optional. You don't have to do them like that. I was just trying things so that you don't have to. That's why you come to Gaslands, to learn. And I'm trying to figure out which bottom goes here, and I think it's this one. I love these cars that are screws. You don't have to drill or anything. It's perfect. I tried to look for some InitalD music that wasn't copyright. This is the closest I find. Like the Euro beats. Kind of looking for something like that. And can't wait to turn this over and show you guys what it looks like. I mean, you've probably seen it in the thumbnails, but here we go. That looks pretty cool. I don't know, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with my first comic book car. And I hope yours is gonna turn out looking better than this. I'm sure you can do it. And obviously, you're gonna add guns to this, chains, whatever you want. But I just really wanted to test it out, see how it would come out. And I was actually filming this, and I told myself if it's not gonna come out good, I won't make a video on it. I'll just scrap the footage. But I think it came out pretty cool. If you are an the InitalD fan and you could find the cars that are in the show, it'd be really cool to paint them in this style. Look at that, they look like they're drifting. Yeah, I'm a bit too excited for this. They look really good, and especially with my little InitalD garage here that I made a while ago, actually. If you want to see the video of me making this piece of terrain, I'm going to put that link at the end of this video. But those cars look like they match that poster there. Super happy with this. And guys, if you do some cars using this method, I'd love to see them. Go to the Facebook page, Gaslands TV. I see every post that is posted there. And yeah, I mean, also if you want to see this piece of terrain that I did a while ago with some graffiti on the side there, I think it was, yeah, with a Vans shoebox that I made all of this. And it's pretty cool. You could use it to as terrain. You could open it up as a garage to showcase your cars. So it was a pretty fun build. And here I was just having fun, you know, placing them with the drifting, maybe drifting some fire as they're drifting around all these exploding cars, or I don't know. I was just having fun placing them. They look really cool. If you guys do play Gaslands and you're looking for dice or gates or anything to play the game or to mod your cars, like engines and skulls, pipes, rams, guns, machine guns, I have all this on my Etsy page that supports the channel. Every time you buy something, it helps me continue. I also have like flame effects and flamethrowers that you could go check out. And of course the Gaslands Facebook page. Come and show us your comic book cars. And here's the link to that parking lot if you want to go take a look at it. It was a really fun build, and it's going to give me those hours that I need for the monetization. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.